Let's go into the superlatives for the NFC West.
All right, we'll start with the MVP. I think Matt Stafford is the clear choice here. So MVP, you're naturally probably going to get a quarterback. I think we've said quarterbacks are going to be most of the MVPs for the superlatives in all the divisions.
Just the value placed on the position.
I just really don't think there's anyone close. I like Kyler, but I don't think he's at that level at all. I don't even think he's even close. Talented, yes, but is he at the MVP level? I don't think so.
And he would be the quarterback in that division that would be like next in line in experience and performance.
Right.
And no, he's not anywhere close to a Matt Stafford. He didn't come into a franchise and take them to a Super Bowl the first season. Granted, he's younger. He doesn't have as much experience. But I think Matt Stafford, like you said, especially with 2 years in the Sean McVay umbrella, come on.
The second year is, I don't think it's crazy to say he'll get 10% better. And if you look at his stats, 10% better would put him in the top 3 in the NFL. So, yeah, Matt Stafford.
At MVP.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Offensive Player of the Year, I think Cooper Kupp. First, broke the record and for what, most catches in a season, I think?
Most catches.
Yeah.
And
it was close to yards. I don't think he got yards.
After catch was like second of all time or something like that. Something crazy.
Here's the thing about Cooper Kupp is I think his game is going to age really well. You hear him talk, and he's not just a freak of nature that goes up and makes jump ball catches. He is open almost every play.
Yeah.
And then the versatility, you can do an end around and hand it to him. He can go down the field and make big catches. Down the field, he can do a little slant route, a screen pass. Intermediate routes, he's fine with. He'll go over the middle. He'll make catches on the sidelines. He can do just about everything you need him to do. Mm-hmm. I don't see a big hole in his game. The catching is fantastic. What's the weakness? I don't get it.
He creates a ton of separation off the line of scrimmage. His footwork is unmatched, and the versatility. You can put him as the outside receiver, as the one, and then you could even move him in, play him in the slot. The dude can fit in anywhere. He plugs and plays. And also his knowledge of the playbook is off the charts. I was watching an interview with him. Just the way he was talking and how in-depth he was able to get about everything and how he picks apart defenders.
Yep.
One of the best 25, 30-minute interviews I've ever listened to. Can't remember who did it, but nevertheless, it was great. Cooper Kupp, Offensive Player of the Year.
All right, let's go with Defensive Player of the Year. I think Nick Bosa is going to be my pick for this. I think he's the only way that San Fran gets above 500. Now, we don't think they will, but I think Nick Bosa...
if they do, he'll be the one that pushes them.
The way that he can turn that edge from the outside as an outside edge rusher. His first step is up there with T.J. Watt as the best in football.
Yeah,
I think he is probably the second or third best pass rusher in football. Him, T.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, and
Aaron Donald.
Well, he's interior edge rusher. Maybe Chandler Jones. Really, I don't. It's a very, very short list. His brother Joey. It's a very short list. So Defensive Player of the Year seems good. Plus, it'd just be so common to be like, Aaron Donald. But here's the thing. Aaron Donald, not that it's been a massive decline, but he's not necessarily the Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor dominant player that he once was, 3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Still a really good player. Definitely one of the best interior defensive linemen.
For sure.
But from a value standpoint, I think Nick Bosa, edge rushers are generally more valuable. Defensive Player of the Year seems right for me with Nick Bosa.
Especially somebody that's going to be so valuable to that specific team. I think him on that edge for that defensive front is going to be the only reason that they start to get through and rack up sacks this season. So, yeah, Nick Bosa at DPOY seems absolutely perfect.
Okay, breakout player of the division. Let's go with Rondale Moore. So he was the 3 or 4 on the depth chart last year for Arizona. Second-year player out of Purdue. So he was 4th on the depth chart, something like that, behind A.J. Green, Christian Kirk, D-Hop. First of all, D-Hop's going to be out for the first 6 weeks. He might be the number 1 guy on the depth chart week 1 through 6. So he's going to get a lot of snaps, a lot of looks, a lot of targets. I think he's going to show out.
Yeah.
Speed, agility. He's got good hands. Not super big, but really speedy, really shifty. I wouldn't be surprised if I look up 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns later, and he is one of the better slot receivers in football. So we'll go Rondale Moore to kind of have a breakout season. Not that his rookie season was bad, but I think this season will be that much better.
And like I mentioned coming into this segment, if you're looking for guys for your fantasy team to pick up in those later rounds of the draft that people might skip over, Rondale Moore. Good pickup.
You could probably, so wide receivers usually go anywhere from the first to the, top wide receivers for first to the, third or fourth round.
Yeah.
You could get him as a steal in the sixth as your number 2 receiver easily.
Little advice there for fantasy. I know that's the drafts will be coming up for the leagues pretty soon here. So
yeah, within the next month or two. So
start getting some advice out at least, right?
Right. Coach of the year, Sean McVay. So, we could try to be fancy and be like, you know what, Pete Carroll's going to lead a bad team to almost 500. Well, first of all, I don't think he will. Second of all, let's not beat around the bush, right? Kingsbury's fine. Shanahan's fine, but, it's Sean McVay.
There's something
Is there a lot of, description that we need here?
It's just he has so many things that set him apart. His knowledge of the game and his memory is insane. He remembers every play from every team he's ever coached or played on. He could probably go back and tell you the record of his football team when he played 8-year-old tackle football for the first time.
There's a chance.
He's that kind of guy. And he just wins. He creates greatness wherever he goes. He coached tight ends in Washington for a couple of years, I think in 2014, and then goes over and he has been fantastic in that head coaching role. But yeah,
I was gonna say here's the thing that nobody thinks about with Sean McVay is I think the culture that's been created there in LA is just phenomenal. You can plug and play. Von Miller comes in, balls out, leaves for more money, and says, you know what, that was the best time, maybe of my life. Like, I wouldn't trade anything for the Rams. OBJ says it was one of the best experiences of his life. Like, guys want to play there. That is a winning culture, an inclusive culture, and it's proven results. Really. So, yes, obviously coaching. I think also the culture that he's helped create has been fantastic. Probably one of the best in the league.
Oh, absolutely. And creating a culture in an environment like a Los Angeles. Let's not be, they don't, for being such a big market and a big city, they don't exactly have the biggest fan base and diehard fans. Sure, there's
they're getting there, but
they're getting there. But he's been the reason for building most of that and
right.
what they're at right now and the success they've had and still being able to dominate the NFL. It's very impressive. Sean McVay as the top coach in the NFC West. I don't see an argument there. But you can see the full list here just to run back through. At MVP, we got Matt Stafford. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp. Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. Breakout Player is Rondale Moore. And to finish it all up with the Coach of the Year for the NFC West, Sean McVay. No surprises there. Guys, stick around.